Hello guys, I'm just going to adjust the screen slightly there. Only one place to start this morning, and that is with the Alexis Sanchez situation. Alexis has given another interview, this time in Chile, where he is currently on holiday, talking about his future. I'm just going to run you quickly through the quotes now. He's asked if he's made a decision. He says he has made a decision, but he must wait for a response from Arsenal. It depends on them and what they want. He's asked what that decision is. And I've watched the video. I'll try and link to it somewhere. But I've watched the video of his interview. And what he kind of does, for the non-Spanish speakers, is he's asked, what decision have you made? And he goes, I'd say win the Champions League, play in the Champions League, win the Champions League. It's what I've dreamt of since I was a kid. To me, that's pretty definitive. You can't really say he doesn't know what he wants, or maybe it's still in the balance, or he might sign a new contract with Arsenal. To me, that's clear. People have said he might mean win the Champions League with Arsenal if they can get back in this season. I don't think so. I don't think that's what that means. I think it means I've decided I want to play in the Champions League and ideally win it. And I'm better off winning it if I play for a team who's in it. So it tallies with everything that we've kind of heard all summer, really, that Alexis's intention or his desire would be to go to Manchester City. But as he says, it depends on Arsenal. And that leaves us in a bit of a quandary, really. It's difficult to know how to read the situation. You can take it one of two ways. On the one hand, you can accept everything the clubs say at face value. And you can believe Arsene Wenger when he says, Daisy the dog's just wandered in. You can believe Arsene Wenger when he says Alexis will not leave the club this summer. And that you can believe that there is a genuine, concerted effort to win the Premier League next season, and that we recognise that keeping Alexis is essential to that ambition. That's one interpretation. The other interpretation is that Arsenal are effectively engaged in a bargaining process where they are playing a game and they are waiting for the right amount of money, potentially, from a Manchester City, or even for the right buyer if they don't want to sell Alexis to an English club. And certainly there are things that could feed into that second possibility. The signing of Alexandre Lacazette, the pursuit of Thomas Lemar. All I can say is that unless something has genuinely changed this summer in the way Gazidis and Wenger operate, that feels like the sort of thing Arsenal do when they're about to sell somebody. Good news before bad news. I remember Lucas Podolski and Olivier Giroud being signed up before Robin van Persie joined Manchester United. Lemar and Lacazette could easily fit that bill. Now, what I would say is, just as back then, Giroud and Podolski, although there were two of them, were effectively a downgrade on Van Persie, Lacazette and Lemar, for me, is a step down from Alexis. And I mean no disrespect. We're all excited about Lacazette. You know, we're all happy to see him. But don't for a minute let his transfer fee fool you into thinking that he's a star of the calibre of Alexis or even Mesut Ozil. And don't underestimate the value of a star. Don't underestimate the impact one outstanding player can have upon a team. I mean, we saw that with Alexis last season. He saved us at times, single-handedly. So, if Arsenal are engaged in a bargaining and negotiation process with Alexis, I worry slightly. Because when I thought we might land Kylian Mbappe, that was a bit different for me, because that was a bona fide world star. Bona fide? It's a word you see written down. If Arsenal were signing a Gareth Bale, a Neymar, I mean, this is ludicrous, it wouldn't happen. But I think I'd feel less concerned. But I like Lacazette, and I like the look of Lemar, but I'm not convinced they're players that only elite clubs could buy. I'm not necessarily convinced they're players that only... I mean, Lacazette, let's not forget, was being linked with West Ham. He might not have gone there, but Alexis and Ozil are players that felt a bit too good for us. How have we got them? You know, how have we convinced them to sign? This is a huge coup. And nobody we're talking about coming in feels like a coup in quite the same way. Lamar, maybe. Potentially, in years to come, he's still only 21. But at this stage of his career, it's not the same as getting a guy in his mid-20s. Anyway, maybe it won't come to that. Maybe Arsene absolutely means what he says. Alexis is going nowhere this summer. You'll just have to forgive my cynicism about that. I've just seen this unfold too many times with Arsenal before to really, 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 really believe that. But what it does make me think, and what these quotes from Alexis this morning make me think, are he is leaving Arsenal. It's a question of if it's now or in 12 months. I know Arsene Wenger says, well, you can't say he's definitely leaving. There's a whole year from signing a new contract. He's had a lot of time to sign that contract. And once the season starts, it's actually almost in his interests to move. Because if he waits till the end of the season, yes, he can sign a new contract with Arsenal, but whatever we can pay him, he'll be offered more elsewhere. I feel sure of that. And he must know that. So it feels like a question of when, not if, Alexis leaves Arsenal. And that leaves Arsene and Ivan and Stan wondering if they're better to lose him in 12 months' time for nothing, or take 50 million quid now and reinvest that in the team. It's really hard to say. Here's another factor. What if the reason that we're not looking at the absolute top bracket of players to replace Alexis is that we're not in the Champions League? Maybe we feel we can't get them. So maybe we think, keep him for 12 months. Yes, we will lose him for nothing then, but at least at that stage, we will be able to bring in somebody of the requisite calibre to go some way towards replacing him. I mean, I've done 7 minutes on this. I could do 7 more. I don't know what's going to happen, and I don't think anybody does. And I think anyone out there who says Arsenal 100% won't sell doesn't know Arsenal Football Club. There has to be a chance that he goes this summer. There has to be a chance. I know the club's in a different position, but I can't help thinking that it might move that way. Much will depend on Alexis. I've said it time and time again. When he comes back to training, we'll get a clearer idea. Arsene Wenger says he's had positive texts. I mean, I've had positive texts from people, and it's really never amounted to anything, many a time. So, we wait and we see. But thanks for watching, especially if you watched this far. Do subscribe, guys. It's much appreciated. And we'll be back. I'll be back with an Arsecast next week, and more of these soon. Bye-bye.